All right, ladies and gents, we're going to talk about some of the stuff on the Barra swapped Mustang. We're going to kind of walk from we're going to start from the back to the front, and we're going to kind of do our own thing here today. So the first thing a lot of people ask me about is the Anvil Auto rear spoiler. This is a carbon fiber spoiler, got it from Anvil Auto, super easy buy. If you want to follow any of the stuff that I do on Facebook, it's going to be Vintage Mustang 6 Forum or the Barra Stang kind of thing on Instagram. So did kind of the required thing when you're running a little bit of horsepower. You got to do the air-motive dual fuel pumps, running dual dash 8s to a single dash 10 out of dual air-motive 340 liter per hour phantom pumps. This thing's actually pretty dang quiet for the most part. I guess my fuel pumps are not louder in my car, which is a qualification for horsepower. Gotta have a subwoofer. Little tiny subwoofer makes a little tiny car sound good. Better than coated in the back. We're done in the trunk. There's nothing special back there. On the back end, we're running some CVF tail lights with a Barra badge from Australia, a carbon fiber bumper from Meyer.com, and then a gas cap that I made myself from a couple of gas caps, actually. This is the black version, I guess, is from American Racing or whatever it is. And then the emblem actually came from a cheaper gas cap from CJ Plenty Parts. You'll hear me kind of dog CJ Plenty Parts here, left and right. The rear end is an 8.8 rear end from a Fox Body Mustang. It's been narrowed 2 inches. And then I'm actually running a wheel space here to change the lug pattern from 4x108, which is Fox Body 4 lug for the SVOs, which I'm running SVO brakes as well, to a 4x114 bolt pattern, which these 6-cylinder Mustangs ran, keeping with the tradition of running 6-cylinder stuff. In the interior, you're going to see some cool stuff. This is 60-year-old pony interior. This is original as a car. This was a pony car. What means by that, not just by it being a Mustang, but as a pony package. With a Sprint Chrome edition. So the Sprint stuff didn't really mean anything for like actual power, just, it's kind of added some stuff. The front seats are awesome. There's no tears or any kind of problems out of them. I'm running Stroth harnesses. Some of the classic car gatekeeper guys hate them because they say they'll break your back. I'm like, all right, well, that belt's going to make your face meet the front of the car, so I'll run with a broken back besides a broken skull. So in here we're running some Foreman Fiberworks glove box cover, and then he's going to send me out a different gauge kind of cluster holder kind of thing for my Holly Pro Dash. I used to be running a different dash before, so he kind of built me something kind of simple for that. Gonna have the Barra badges again, and then I actually didn't cut the single din portion out. I would have left the classic stereo in and put the Bluetooth player underneath the dash or something like that. I like the look of a classic stereo. It kind of looks neat and whatnot. But yeah, I just kind of went with what he did and put another single din in there. It had a little bit more power so I can have some good tunes. Got the, as you can see, the kick panels with the speaker, with the 6.5-inch speakers in them. Makes the sound kind of radiate through the car, which is cool when you're kind of cruising around and trying to look cool and show off for the family. It's kind of a thing. Obviously LED lights throughout everything on there. We'll be replacing glass, maybe doing a cage, just to be a little bit safer, because these cars weren't built great, they were built good. So the sheet metal is just not the best. We'll get to the front of the car. So the front of the car has all been kind of rebuilt. The rest of the back end of the car is the original sheet metal. Front of the car, the fenders, the front aprons have both been replaced. The front core support, obviously the grill, the front bumper and all that good stuff has been replaced because the guy driving out the dyno in Tennessee in 2021 decided to kick out the brake pedal pin somehow and wreck the car at 10 miles an hour. And when I say these things weren't built great, they were built good, crumpled everything. I had to replace everything pretty much from here back. The best thing is the shock towers are fine, the subframes are fine. I did do a little bit of pulling on the subframe to get them to kind of be back square again. I had a buddy kind of help me up with that. As you can see, the radiator's been cut out for a bigger radiator. Didn't do that just because the motor is bigger, and we'll get to the motor here in a second. I did that because I wanted a bigger radiator in there and I wanted to lay flat against there. The factory radiator setup is kind of weird the way they did it. The way Ford kind of made that like kind of set back with that air gap in there. So I cut the actual factory portion out, like what the guys who fit a 67 radiator in. When you add horsepower, you need more cooling area. If you have a small block Ford, you don't need to do this. If you have a 6-cylinder with a small turbo on it, you don't need to do this either. This is just for guys who want to add more than 500 horsepower because that's the cooling nature that you need. So in the engine bay, we're going to do like we did with from the body of the car. We're going to start from the back to the front. You got some CVF aluminum hood risers in here. I wouldn't actually really place that because with the steel hood, it worked just fine. There was no issues with it, but with a carbon fiber hood that we were talking about before, actually, I don't know if I actually talked about it. This is from the Meyer Brothers. It's a blemish hood. I found it on Facebook Marketplace for a blemish sale, and the only reason why it's blemished is because the carbon fiber doesn't run perfectly. I was like, if I ever get tired of it, I can always just scrub it down and repaint it and make it pretty, kind of thing. So, aside from that, it's a dual count hood too, as well, as you can obviously see. CVF hood hinges, and then running some Evil Energy catch can, dash 10s to the valve cover. Don't run Evil Energy for the actual fuel supply. Everything I do is either Aeroquip for fuel hoses, and then I don't run Aeromotive fittings for fuel, because when it comes to fuel pressure and different kinds of fuel, whether you want to question anything, those guys know exactly what you need to do. Never go cheap. eBay and Summit sells a lot of Russell bullshit. That's actually be like this kind of stuff where you have to like press it together. And this is just a crankcase vent, so this doesn't matter to me. I don't care about it. But these kind of fittings, honestly, if you get it wrong, it's going to leak, and then you have a fire or extreme problem. Or it's just going to simply drip a little bit, and you don't want that either. So, you guys can see the engine. This is a Ford Barra out of a Falcon in Australia. Did a little bit. It's not hard to actually fit these in here. The two main things you need to do is you need to buy an intake manifold like this here from Custom Alloy Welding from Australia. He already knows the math to make it fit, so I didn't have to cut my shock tower to fit this in here. There's no extreme modifications that I needed to do. Yes, the turbo blanket is laying on the tower support, but it's actually just laying there. It's not hurting anything. The turbo is not that big. It's just the turbo blanket to keep heat inside of it. Back over here on the passenger side, we're running a 6-boost exhaust manifold. These guys, I sent them an email. I was like, hey man, trying to put a Barra inside of a 66 Mustang. He's like, absolutely, we got you, brother. As they set this out here, and obviously it fit absolutely perfect. Next guy I want to talk about from Australia is going to be this guy from Gravel Rash. It's F the Purist. I don't know if you can actually see that. Let me see if I can focus in a little bit. Yeah, you can't see it too well. But aside from that, awesome dude. Power steering delete. This car is a mechanical car, so I'll run manual brakes, manual steering. I may do electronic power assist in the future, and then manual transmission. I like to feel the car. The only thing I want the car to do for me is power the engine to make it work good. That's what I want it to do. And there's some traction control as well. The turbo, I used to run a VS Racing turbo on here, but I went with a Pulsar turbo. Got this from my buddy. I had a tiny turbo, a 62 VS Racing one on here. I lit up way too fast. That's dangerous for a Barra, so I went with this one. Runs great. I think it's making great power. I'll put on a dyno eventually, but aside from that, running a VS Racing 60 mil wastegate, which burns off the boost from the turbo so you don't overboost. That's what controls all your power. And then I'm running a 50 mil blow-off valve from VS Racing, which helps you not damage the throttle body or the backsides of anything else. Mishimoto catch can for the radiator, and then running just a simple radiator fan that I kind of modded for myself to fit to that Chevy radiator that I got, because no Ford radiator has the setup that the Barra requires. The hardest thing for the Barra was getting the low radiator hose, as you can see, a hodgepodge like an AutoZone radiator onto a 90-degree pipe into a 45-degree silicone pipe into the Barra water pump. So it has rods and pistons. The rods are from Dominator. The pistons from DSS. Every bit of internal hardware is from ARP. I do only trust those guys. I know some people will bad talk ARP because they want to blame a bad build for against a company, but that's not my thing. Holley HP, I only get stuff from EFI Systems Pro. EFI Systems Pro is one of the best people to buy stuff from, because when you buy something from a company, they actually take care of you. The fuel injectors are FIC 1200s from those guys as well. I think I already said everything in the fuel systems: Aeromotive or Aeroquip fuel lines, Aeromotive hardware, Aeroquip lines. The throttle body is just a simple actual eBay throttle body. It's like $70 or whatever it is. The Argentinian guys actually run these in full-on race cars, running 8s all day long with a simple aluminum throttle body. You don't need to run a 700 millimeter throttle body to actually make power, just like Supras, RBs, and LSs. Well, some LSs. You don't need 102 millimeters. You just need 70 to 80 millimeters, and it's going to flow. The only non-Rife sensor is my throttle position sensor. That's actually a K-tuned one, because Honda sensor actually fits on that throttle body. It's a funny little thing. I don't run an idle air control. All the other sensors, fuel pressure, oil pressure, map sensor, a 4-bar map sensor, anything else is a sensor in this car is Rife, except for the throttle position sensor. Rife makes the best stuff you can ever get. So I shot them an email with, I thought that I had a intake temperature sensor problem, and then I realized that my pin was bent. Instead of it being straight, it was bent. Special needs require special curse words. I wish it would have told me, hey, dumbass, did you actually check to see if your sensor's plugged in properly? But they didn't. They were professional, and they said, yeah, send it back, and then we'll check it out, and then we'll send you a new one out. But I'm glad when I unplugged it and I actually looked in there and saw that my pins were bent. Thermostat housing is from the custom alloy intakes welding guy as well, because a factory Barra thermostat housing will not work with this intake manifold. So he sends this out. This is 3D printed. The top of it, I believe, is actually factory Barra. Yep, and then Rife coolant temperature sensor in there. Yeah, so the front end is, the front suspension is a straighter track suspension. If you know what a straighter track is, it pretty much takes the upper suspension point and mounts it to the lower control arm. Unlike what Ford did from the factory, was, you had the shock that was up here with a coil spring kind of sat in a tonal right here, and all that sat on top of the upper control arm. Created a little bit of bad geometry. It worked good for back in the day. It works great for people, guys who learn how to drive those. But yeah, I was born in the 80s, so I like cars where they handle naturally mechanically. So this takes it to the proper kind of scrub radius angle for the tire. You can run with this straighter track suspension the proper caster that you need and the proper camber that you need to handle really well on a track. And then I'm actually running factory 6-cylinder steering. I may go rack and pinion in the future, like the same thing. I may put a cage in the car, but for right now I'm just enjoying the damn thing. Plans always change, cars always change. This engine is going to be my final engine. If I blow it up, I'll put another one in, because I can find parts for it now, which is awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing to complain about. I think let's do a little bit of walking around for the car so I can think about anything else I could talk about, which is going to be neat. I had the car resprayed back in 22, I believe, by Daniel Castillo out of, I think, Mansfield, Texas. He did a phenomenal job. I pretty much refit all the panels and try to get them as straight as possible to give him the fastest ability to make that cleaner. And he did, man. I mean, he had this thing done in a couple of weeks. I did screw up a little bit of the clear coat over the years, but aside from that, guys, I hope you enjoy some of this stuff. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments, or any concerns for my safety. That's up to your sisters. Love you. Goodbye.